I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome in to Pregaming here on Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You know the deal. Getting out of work, St. Patty's Day, maybe you can have a couple cocktails. You need somebody to help you get to the window with winning sports tickets. That's what you're here for. Best chat in the business assembles here. Your boy Pimp Slap POD is here. And I'm excited about this week in particular that we launch March Madness. March Madness is officially here. I think we were in the madness the last 2 weeks, but we are here. We are ready to roll. And roll we did this weekend. Holy cow. I hope you guys were able to catch that live stream on Saturday. I know it's a little earlier than our traditional live streams here on Saturdays, but UFC puts it out there. All we can do is play the hand that we are dealt, and what a hand we had this weekend. What a bunch of monster bombs. You know, it's funny. I say this all the time. People prejudge these cards, and they're like, this card doesn't look very good. And, you know, I kind of fell victim of that. I looked at it, and I was like, man, there's a lot of favorites on this card. And yet here we are navigating plus 600s, plus 900s, plus 1,000s, 1,400s, 1,600, 1,800s, all pre-flop. You know, we did some live betting, but all of that content, all that information was available to you guys in the UFC playbook. Man, it was something to be said. We went 3-1 on first strike place. We ended up over 4 units of profit on a 3-1 with first strike place. How about that? How about that? An unbelievable start. And then we fired. Look at this thing. Look at it. I'm only going to scroll through it quickly here, but we have a short card, so we might as well take a peek. This is that playbook. We've updated the colors here. Look, Lima submission plus 600 was given out in there. We had the Luciano takedown ladder. Sammy Hughes at plus 215 from Fanatical Jim. There's Jeff in his first strike play. Look at this one. We got some game fight goes the distance props out there. We had the boys betting on that thing. We had a Friday night collab, gave that out on the post tab. You by decision. We even got the AI tool kicking in, contributing to us this year. This was the big one. We were all over this Blackshear fight. Look at this, 205, 750s, plus 290s just for the submissions. Hernandez gets the decision. Vallejos in round 2, big KO price there at over 1,000, 10-1. Somebody faded me away. Oh, sub faded me on my first strike play. That cashed at plus 171, final number in. And then we banged out the finish with Delice at some plus 128, plus 135s. Pretty cool stuff. That's the UFC playbook. That's what it looks like. You guys have access to it if you are members of Sports Money. We do appreciate you guys. We are viewer supported. And I've said it time and again, we just want to give more tools to you guys. You support us. We want to help you out in advance. I'll tell you, the playbook is already fired up and loaded for this week here. There's already action out there. And I think probably a couple of things. One, I know some of these lines have moved. Jeff's got a parlay out there, and the lines have already moved a nickel to a dime, depending on some of those situations. So you're just losing value the longer you wait in the week. But moreover, by midweek, you got a great tool to start. We had over 25 plays ready to roll, sides, angles, and so on for you guys if you're looking to put together parlays. You know, it's super hard live in the stream to start putting together these parlays. And we break things down early, but this is a great tool, I think, to start looking at it in advance. You get a lot of boosts. Every website, every sports book is offering boost in the UFC. And those are things that you do not want to miss. So pretty awesome stuff there from the UFC Saturday. And then it just kept rolling. We had a big Sunday. You look overall at the, let me see if I can find this here. I want to make sure you guys know where this post tab is. Let's see here. Again, we got a few minutes. You get into the post tab, content, and winners is what it comes down to. MMA Jeff dropped some NHL action out there for us today. We had golf action. We had Formula One racing action out there. We had, look at let's not forget about these polls. Yeah, this is the best chat in the business, and we continue to dominate at over a 65% rate with the polls that are out there when you guys go in there and vote. I can't vote, so I guess as the creator of the channel here and as that right in the username, I can't vote. So it's you guys that are coming in here steering the ship and winning and winning and winning and winning. Look at this. Important. I wanted to stop here and mention it. We do have a March Madness bracket that's out there for all members. Doesn't matter your medal level, bronze, silver, or gold. All of our members have access. 10 of you have already registered. We appreciate the thumbs up. 18 of you have given us a thumbs up out there. Depending on the number of entrants, we're going to guarantee at least one winner is going to grab some sports money merch. If we can get over 25 entries, then we'll drop it down to first and second place with some tiered prizes in there. Yesterday, I delivered some 5 plays. We went 3-2. We won the Utah Hockey Club. We lost the Dallas under 5.5. We had that thing right to the end, and then Dallas ties it up 3-3 and then blows it in overtime. Preseason baseball, took a shot at a nice price, didn't come through. OKC nuked them boys in the NBA, so we were even rolling into this parlay with Edmonton and Winnipeg, and we cashed that at plus 165. Let's keep rolling here. Look at this. There's some F1 action, as I mentioned. There was Fanatical Jim's racing bets out there. He went 2-1 to get a unit of profit. There's our collab play between Jeff, Jim, and I. We had golf action out there. Golf wouldn't. There's the playbook. Generated just over a unit of profit in the golf action here. Way I broke it down. I had a unit on Tommy Fleetwood to come in the top 20. He did. I think he was 14 overall, 14 or 15. And then I just did 3/4 of a unit on Ray top 20. He tied Fleetwood. So those both cashed. We almost got this. We were 2 strokes behind because of a bogey on 17. We almost cashed this monster 6,500. So net, it was another unit of profit there. And that's what you can expect from the Sports Money Post tab. So make sure you guys do check it out on the regular. And of course, you want to subscribe to the Sports Money Wins Twitter account. Anytime we put the content over here, we put a tweet out over there. So you're not missing the action as soon as it drops. And I know most of you guys are already registered over there. So all good stuff. And yeah, we're grinders, man. 60% win rate makes it profitable. You can see that in evidence by what happened out there with the 3-2 to pick up over 1.65 units on yesterday's sports card for myself. Jim goes 2-1. That's over 65% to pick up a unit over there. Golf bets out there. We went 2-0 on the top 20s, and then sprinkled a couple of smaller plays around to try to take some big bombs. And that's the deal. Some sites, they'll give you one play because they're afraid. They're afraid. They don't know what their numbers hold up over the long haul. And they say, hey, here's a bet. This is my bet today. Come back tomorrow, get another one. You know what? Have confidence in yourself and your preparation. And, 60% is that win rate that we want to accomplish on the regular. And we've been doing a great job at that. So came off a couple of bad weeks, turned it around at the end of last week and fired over the weekend, building these bankrolls. Here's some things you guys can expect as we roll forward. Getting into the dog days here. I know we still got plenty of action between March Madness, the NHL playoffs, the NBA playoffs, but look, we're going to have soccer content out there. We're going to have rugby content out there. We're going to have golf plays out there for everybody to take advantage of. Jim's diving in with us on the F1 racing, and we'll probably get some NASCAR in there as well. So just as we get moving towards the summer, we're prepping. We're prepping early. I know it's still cold out, but doesn't mean we can't get hot and beat these bookies up. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Appreciate everybody coming in tonight. It's that time. We're going to get to work. It's a small card. Talk about a couple of these hockey games that I don't have action on here, but I did take some action on Philly and Tampa Bay, Calgary and Toronto, the LA Kings and the Minnesota Wild. And then we're going to switch over to the NBA. I've got 2 plays for you in the NBA with Denver and Golden State and the Spurs and the Lakers. And that should be it. That should do it for us here on the card. But can't get started until you guys know the thumbs up button rolls around. I see Irish King saying no live stream this morning. There was a live stream. Had almost 200 views for Ramon. I'm not sure what happened. We'll have to look back and see if you couldn't find it, but it is out there. The action is posted on our live site under the Sports Money YouTube page. And you guys get a feeling of what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to come up with our best looks. We're all working together. The team's working together, trying to find different spots, different angles, different sports. Maybe niche sports. Maybe they're things that you haven't looked at on a regular basis, but when the summer rolls around, you're going to want to check those out. Speaking of checking it out, I'm going to be live tonight. We'll be live with two of the best guys in the baseball game to do it. Of course, our guy Sharpie Betts is going to be hosting us. And the Spin Doc's going to come in there. We're going to talk about these two baseball games for tomorrow. Or tomorrow and Wednesday, I guess, right? The two Japanese games. We got action. We're going to heat up with some RBI action, some sides and totals as well. That'll be tonight at 8:30. And, of course, I'll share my plays with you guys here at Sports Money. But those games start at 6 a.m. 12 hours from now. Major League Baseball season officially starts, even though it kind of feels unofficial being over there in Japan. But some good pitching matchups. Should be some fun to look at those and talk more about those. And just like that, we just keep rolling. Got to keep stacking it up. And speaking of stacking it up, I mentioned we've got on the post tab, I'll retweet it as well. All members, all medal level members, you guys are supporting us. We want to give you guys some fun back. We want to give you guys some gear. We want to give you some merch. And it's going to be a March Madness bracket. So you can find that out there. Private to just our members. You'll see the link out there in the post tab, and you click it, go in there and register. Do us a favor and put your name in there. Hit the settings and change it so that we can see your name. Right now I see Jeff is registered. Textiles, Barry's up in the house. Two time is picks. Not sure who that is. D Wall, Ron Young, Joe W, Robert McCormick, Mike Banner, myself, and Zach Stan are all registered. 10 folks already registered for the March Madness bracket. Free to enter. Don't want a single dollar from you guys. Just want to have some fun together, stack rank ourselves against each other a little bit, have a little needling as we do it. And then, again, we'll give away some gear as we get ready for the summertime. We got the summertime line ready to roll with Sports Money. And hopefully I win it. But hopefully I win it, and then I'll get the gear. But if one of you guys wins it, we've been, I think we're current. We pay up. We're not going to leave you guys hanging in the lurches. All right, let's talk about March Madness for just a second, because I did find a unique bracket or a unique consideration for your bracket. So this is just a little bit of off the cuff here. This is we'll call this a little bracket science. Well, no, we won't. No, we won't. Hang on. Where'd it go? There it is. All right. Check this out. Came across this from the folks at FanDuel. I thought it was pretty compelling. I don't spend a lot of time talking about Ken Palm. I know we got some new names on our own with our own stats and trends. But man, how can you not recognize this? This is important. So if you guys are filling out your brackets, as you're looking to try to get that cash, as you're considering future bets for the March Madness tournament, you got to acknowledge this. This is 24 years of data, 24 seasons of data. A lot of guys have databases, and that's great. And they'll continue to mature over time. 24 years. You got to recognize 96% of the national champions going back to 2001 have had a top 21 Ken Palm offense. And there's the teams: Auburn, Florida, Duke, Houston, Tennessee, Wisconsin, Iowa State, and the Zags. That's impressive. And look at the top 4 number 1 spots across the brackets all fall under that category. Of course, 91% of the national champions have had a top 31 Ken Palm defense. I'm sorry, top 31 Ken Palm defense. So a rounded team that's top 30 across college basketball is winning over 9.25 times out of 10. Almost 9.5 times out of 10 if you aggregate these two together. You got to consider that. Whether you're looking to make future bets, you're considering. Here's the other thing that you can do with March Madness. You can take teams to get to the Elite Eight. You can take Sweet 16ers. You can get out there to see who's in the Final Four. And that's how I would look at a tool like this. I'm going to post it up on the post tab. I won't thank them on the tab, but I'll thank them here and say thank you, FanDuel, for doing that research for us so we don't have to. But kind of a unique little tool. I think this might be a nice little live betting tool. When we see that, the Zags get in there in the first game and they go down and we can catch them at a nice price tag, might have to give some consideration, especially if you see these teams at a dog price. Wisconsin in that Michigan game, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened there. I don't know how Wisconsin loses to Michigan, still ends up with a better seed. Same thing with, I think it was Purdue, but I thought that was pretty neat. And since I have a forum to share it, I wanted to share it. And I'll post it on the post tab for you guys so that you can try to collect that money with me. We'll release, I'm going to look at, I don't do a lot of the future bets. I've got Clemson and Texas A&M But those lines have come down considerably, of course. And Clemson just kind of, Clemson had a tough break. They had that getting locked out of their locker room at halftime. They battled back in that second half. It wasn't enough to go on. And then, of course, there's a lot of talk right now across social media about UNC. The chairman, the president of the bracket committee is the athletic director at UNC. And, UNC got in. Oh, surprise. Not surprised, but that's okay. They market ratings, right? SEC, shout out to them boys. That conference has got the most entries of all time from a single conference. That is impressive. I told the story just a couple of years ago. The athletic directors got called together at a round table and said, we're good at football, but this basketball stuff's unacceptable. And they made a concerted effort. And now they're seeing the results here. 4 or 5 years later, they put the effort, the focus in on it. They found a way to get it together. And probably part of that's because the ACC stunk this year. But obviously you got to like Duke and that number out there. So anyhow, there's a couple of thoughts. Let's get to work. You guys know the deal. Thumbs up time. We need the support. We love you guys being members of the community. We're trying to give you guys back, as we talked about already. But the biggest thing you can do, the most help for any of the shows and programs we have, is smashing the thumbs up button. Close the comments, hit the thumbs up, pop them back open. We'll talk about these 5 games and a little bit more as we get to work and try to crush this card on Monday. Slide in there to shout out our enhanced members. Shout out all you guys in the chat. Let's keep her rolling. Let's get in there. Let's see what you guys have to play. Of course, our first commenter numero uno, Jover. And he's giving us the Devils and Blue Jackets and an over 6. A little over 6 action for Jover. I was tempted to pull the trigger on that one. I was tempted. Man, that's a tough game. That is a tough game. Man, you see back-to-back beatdowns by Columbus. Columbus blew their gas when they played that Rangers team and won 7-3. They have been off the scoring sheet ever since. Shout out to Charlie B, our newest member. We know Charlie's been hanging around the community. I think he's just upgrading or renewing. Irish King. Yeah, I don't know, Irish King. I don't know what happened. I see it out there. I see the video out there. And I see I think it was 188 views. 188 or so. Let's see. I do know it looked weird because it showed that it played 6 days ago. But clearly it streamed 7 hours ago with 188 views, 1 hour and 34 minutes from none other than Ramon Scott. A pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world in Las Vegas. That's how Ramon starts his show off every day. I know. I check it out. Shout out to Joe Dunn. He's registered for the March Madness bracket. And Gerald Jones coming in, giving us his best bet. And it's the Bulls -5.5. I like that Bulls look. I was tempted to pull the trigger. Tough card, small slate. I'm not going to come in here and just give you guys some plays. I mean, these got to be plays that I'm invested in. And these are my 5, but that one is so darn close. So look at Gerald Jones, 22-13 with his best bets over here, man. This guy's a grinder. Barry's up in the house. He likes the Warriors -4, and he's got Houston first half -10. That Houston game scares the shit out of me, man. 16.5 points now. The Sixers, I mean, they've had some big wins where you wouldn't think it was coming to fruition here. So obviously Freddie VanVleet's got to be playing in this game, right? There's got to be Fred VanVleet in this thing because there's no way they'd be 16.5 if he wasn't. Look, Oubre's out, Embiid's out, Lowry's out. I think George is out. Drummond, man, who's playing? Maybe I better turn my phone on. Turn my phone on. I might be getting the call. I'm no good at basketball. I'll tell you that. Don't call me. Don't waste your call on me. I can't even keep score for that damn sport. Shout out to Nicholas Handy. You got the Knicks -6.5, the Pistons -6.5, and the Sabres money line. Big movement there at the end on that Sabres Boston game. Kinks in the house every stride. He's giving us a goal in the first goal in 10 minutes of the Flyers and the Devils game. I like it. A little +168 action. Shout out to Bobby Mack. Barry got his Quentin Grimes over 20.5 points. Gerald says he's been fired. $100 deposit on March 1st turned into 1 point. Man, good for you, brother. Good for you. Slow and steady wins the race, dude. I mean, that's 11 times. It's 11 times your money in 17 days. Think about that. We talked about taking season win totals for minus 115s and minus 120s. You don't have to wait 6 months. You did it in 17 days, my friend. Congrats. Keep it rolling. Stay hot, baby. That way you don't have to get hot. Each and every stride says congrats on Saturday, man. That was a lot of fun. Saturday was a lot of fun. Spammington says, who's on the Major League Baseball Tokyo Series tonight? I'm looking at the under 8. We know there will be no Mookie Betts. I'll be talking more about that tonight. Nasty Nate thinks the Bruins are going to smash. And Robert McCormick says, no gift. The gift, of course, stands for goal in the first 10 minutes. No gift in the Kings Wild game. Turkey! This is great, dude. It's fun for me when I see you guys retweeting about it, too. Saying there's too much winning. I mean, that's real. I can't ask you guys to tweet. I mean, I can ask you, but you don't have to do it. And it means a lot when you guys do take the time to like, comment, and then retweet for us. That's the big one to get us across that Twitter landscape and let them know, man. That's it was awesome. It's awesome, dude. Right there. I mean, and then the main card, I might just become a main card shooter. It's unbelievable. Nasty Nate likes the Knicks second quarter. Subhuman Gaucho, he updated this playbook for us. The plays are already firing on this UFC playbook. And I think that tool is going to be sticking around because, man, there's a lot of green on that one this week, man. A lot of green. Shout out to Swizz in the house. Says he ended up going big on Rory to pick him last night. Nice to bring that one in. Yeah, yes, he was. Tech B says 20 likes. Really? I agree, man. I agree. Trying to win. Trying to give that money. All you guys got to do is smack that thumbs up button. Let's go. Substance seems like a good time to fade the Flyers. Hagel and Sorelli could be worth a shot. And on top line with Kucherov. I like Kucherov to score a goal tonight at plus 145. Damon Waring says good morning. Bo Jackson says Flames can upset tonight against my Maple Leafs. We'll talk about that. Jover's keeping his assault on the unders in play. He's going first Major League Baseball play of the regular season on the over 8 in that Dodgers-Cubs game. I expect one game goes over, one game goes under. That's kind of what we've seen the last 3 years or so. Damon Waring. Peter Grassi is here. Says, wow. David Wallace says, what's up, Cameron? Sinet. Clemson soft. So my thought around Clemson was, is Duke going to win the whole thing? And if they're not, then why not take a shot? But, hey, man, Louisville got him. Bombs.com. Barry. Scumbag. Doesn't bother me. Lexicon says, salute to everybody. Joe T says, also do like that Sabres Bruins over, but Jeff gave it out also. Either they don't want to play it together and they're spreading their wings so that we can all fly, or Joe's insinuating Jeff's going to stymie him. I'm not sure. I think it's the first part. I think it's the first one, which I like. I like us working across the board. A lot, especially when there's not a lot of games to cover. Like, hey, we can all get a couple minutes back in the day if we're all working, trying to find the other spots that we're not involved with here. Happy Monday to you, Peter Grassi, Joseph Alvarado's in the house, bomb.com, 34, and Cubs money line. Big Scott. We can never have too much winning, Mike. That's what we're here to do. Oh, man, I appreciate that. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? That was a lot of fun, Big Scott. I appreciate your contributions, your donos as well, man. That's how you know this shit's real, man. That's how you know we're winning money like that because, again, you guys taking the time to retweet, share, tip us at the end, all that fun stuff, man. It was awesome, dude. It was awesome. I still can't believe my thought process of there's a lot of big prices in here, and this is going to be tough to navigate. And then there we go. I mean, we had 9 finishes on a 13-fight card. It's almost hard to imagine. Almost hard to imagine. Let's see. Was there anything else? No, let's get to work. Let's go. Let's get after it here. We've got this first game, the Flyers and Tampa Bay Lightning, and it's the spot. Yeah, it's the spot. By the way, with the playbook, I am going to add the 1. I am going to add the split lip, and I am going to add that AI content in there as well. So, I hit another split decision. Not sure. I can't remember about the 1. I don't think the 1 hit. But anyhow, there's so much good stuff happening right now. We want to bottle it up and make sure that it carries over. Hopefully by now you guys kind of see the flow of this thing, right? Sunday and Monday, there's smaller days on the schedule now that football season's kind of gone. So it gives us the opportunity to reset and refresh as we build up for Tuesday with the Ramon Scott show. We get the VB MMA pick show. That's your first official video takes on the UFC for that card over the weekend. Wednesday, we roll out. We get First Strike involved. Thursday, live. Fridays, by then, you better be checking out that UFC playbook. You're going to find golf on Thursday or Wednesday nights. You'll find the golf plays for the tournament. Jeff's going to be involved with matchups and head-to-head. Those will be daily. Those come out later. So you're going to have to check those out. But it all kind of builds up to the weekend, and that's when we go to work and do it best. So hopefully you guys have seen a little bit of that. We've been pretty consistent with it since day one of the show. So since day one of our channel getting launched, we've been very consistent with putting that programming content out there and trying to keep it at the same time. All right. This one is the spot. Ivan Fedotov will start. Big tree, fall hard. 5'11". 5'11", shit. He's 7 foot tall. 5-11 on the season with 3 overtime losses. So he's really 5-14, 3.08 goals against average and 88.3% save percentage. Flip side, the best goaltender on Tampa Bay's stable, Andrei Vasilevsky, will go at 30, 18, and 3. And he's got a 2.27 goals against average and a 91.9% save percentage. Bottom line here, the Flyers suck. I don't think they're in tank. I think they're in tank mode. Let me start there. But I don't think they can just show tank mode because Tortorella could very well assault somebody if that's the case. And I don't know if it would be a player, a reporter, or any one of us if we're just in eye catch of this guy and what's going on out there. He doesn't let him quit. Fedotov is struggling. He had 4 goals on 23 shots his last game. He's been struggling pretty much all season. That was a 5-2 loss to Ottawa. So 88.3% save percentage, 82.6 that last game. And look, big dog. Maybe big dog for a reason. When we look at this game and we look on the other side of things, Vasilevsky, Tampa Bay had themselves a little losing streak. They beat the snot out of Boston Bruins 6-2. 6-2. Crushed them like a can. But this one being the spot really has a lot to do with the bounce back, the quick revenge that we talk about on a regular basis when we find these opportunities. And here's the thing about the quick revenge. That game was in Florida. I'm sorry, in Philly. It was in Philadelphia. Let me start that over. That game was in Philadelphia. The Flyers were in the middle of I think it was a 7 or an 8 game homestand. And man, they stunk. Not only did they stink, they couldn't score goals. They couldn't score power play goals, period. They were on like an 0, and I think they scored 1 power play goal in that 7 game homestand. So I think law of averages kicks in there and says they everybody liked Tampa. That line came down. And they got it. So that was the last game before they went to Boston. Tampa gets to Boston. They figured things out. They win 6-2. That was a bounce back spot. They lost 4-0 to Boston 3 games before that. On the other side of things here, yeah, Philly got that, we talk about this with the Red Wings, right? Your expected goal scoring opportunities versus your actual goal scoring. And if you're in the top or the bottom of the leagues respectively, something's got to give. In this place, though, the Flyers not scoring a power play goal in 7 games, at some point, they were going to catch that win. And that was against Tampa. That was a suspect line. Plus 130. Plus 130 were the Flyers in that game, and they got the win. And they were on their home ice. They finish off against Carolina, and they get crushed. 5-0 loss to Carolina. Game clearly went under, and they are not scoring. They are back to who they are. With this bounce-back revenge opportunity, this to me is a puck line, pretty clear puck line opportunity. -1.5. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Flyers. For all the aforementioned reasons here, I don't typically like to lay the puck line with the juice, but there's just a lot of good happening out there. And, the thing was, it was Vasilevsky that got the break, and Jonas Johansson got the start in that previous game against Philadelphia. So now they got Vasilevsky going back. He's 10-3 in his last 13 starts. And Philly stinks on the road. They're 12-13-7. They're 1-6 over their last 7 on the road. All good reasons for us to lock down this Philadelphia Flyers spot. Let's go. Let's go. Subhumans is -2.5 at plus. Yeah, you could go for the score. I don't see why not. Irish King says that's odd. Dude, it could be the YouTube algorithm was kind of stifling us out there. I don't know if we're getting shadow banned. Did we get shadow banned? I don't know what happened, dude. I don't know what happened. I know I couldn't find it this morning either. It was weird. We'll make sure that doesn't happen again. Cameron says, now the Flyers were plus 290 in that game, and they won in a shootout, and it was some sweaty good money. It came way down, though, Cameron. It came way down because they announced that Johansson was going to be the guy in goal, not Vasilevsky, as it all worked its way out there. Some comments here. Hagel, Cicerelli, and Kucherov. But who cares? It's that second line they're going to expose on Philly. Yeah. Braden Point's not a bad spot either. Every time I bet Braden Point, he no-shows me. Braden Point might end up with a little mugshot right here. Little mugshot under the you-know-what. Calgary and Toronto brings us to game number 2 on the card tonight. And I saw the comment in the chat, and I don't disagree. You know, when you look at this spot and you look at these teams and you look at these circumstances, there's a couple things going on here. Skip a few of these games, but I want to talk about Devils and Columbus. All that money coming in on the over, it's dropped from 6.5 to 6. Columbus, as I mentioned, with back-to-back shutout losses. And they're a good puck line team. We talked about their puck line abilities at home. Back-to-back 4-0s. They lost to Vegas. They lost to the Rangers. They even lost to the Devils previously 5-3. So does that create a bounce-back scenario? Maybe. Devils did find that 3-game stretch. They beat the Flyers. They beat Columbus. Surprising beatdown of, well, not beatdown, but physically dominated the Edmonton Oilers. 3-2 in that game. And then they went to Pittsburgh and they got snuck, the Devils. So the reason I didn't officially pull the trigger on this one here is you got a team that's off of back-to-back shutouts. I mean, Jover's on the over, so I'm not going to give out the under, but I just don't see where these goals come from. Both these teams are certainly in dire straits at best, and it's an ugly game. I would probably, you know what I think is not a terrible look is Columbus in the first period. At home, after back-to-back shutouts, they got to change something. Even another both teams to score in the first period, despite I'm looking at this game potentially on the under. Columbus in the first period, you can pick them boys up at around plus 115. There's a plus 115 out there, so it's not a terrible look, but it's not my favorite play on the board. Like I said, I'm not just going to, sometimes it might feel like it, but I'm not just going to squeeze out plays for the sake of squeezing out plays here. I just can't get there. Sabres and Bruins. Jeff loves that over. He put that out there in the community post. And I don't disagree. You know, I like the over in the first period of this game, too. I think Boston's first period home run is something like 9-1 over the last 10 of the over. Goals come out early and often in the Garden out there. TD Garden, as a matter of fact. But I like Boston early. I saw some big trends for Boston. But with the line movement, they're no longer a favorite. And all those trends became null and void. This line went from minus 141 all the way down to minus 102. Probably because it's Jonas Korpisalo going in net for the Boston Bruins. Oh, that guy makes me want to snap my own neck. 10-7, 2.78 goals against average, 89.5% save percentage. I guess they have the better goaltending edge, despite hard to believe you could say that about Korpisalo at all. And he had to go in there in that relief effort against the Senators. So I always get concerned about headspace in that game. You're sitting there expecting to be the backup. Your boy's getting shelled, and you got to go in. Now, he did come out and play pretty well. He saved 15 of 16 shots in that game against Ottawa, but they had just gotten beat down, clubbed, and dragged away like a baby seal. And the Bruins already crushed the Sabres like a can, 7-2 the last time they played. So I like goals. I think in a short, sweet, to the point comment there, I would say goals makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go to this spot, though, with the Calgary Flames and the Tampa Leafs. Leafs open as big home favorites, and I have no idea why. You know, this time of year, this team falls off. And they're 1-4 in their last 5. In fact, back-to-back home losses against Florida and Ottawa, playoff teams. Now, the Flames are desperate for playoffs. You know, they needed that win against Montreal. Fortunately for them, Utah lost as well on Friday. So, or was it Friday? Was it Thursday? I don't remember the day. Anyways, So they kind of got a pass. Actually, it was Vancouver. I'm sorry. It was the Vancouver game. They kind of got the pass because they lost and Utah lost. Then they played Colorado and they got 4-2. They got beat up. It was ugly. So that team's desperate. And then the other side of things, Toronto, yeah, they got to be in a similar situation. I mean, you got pretty much all your horses running, and yet you can't find a way to get to the window. Dustin Wolf starts for Calgary. 22, 13, and 5. Solid. 2.54 goals against average and a 91.4% save percentage. Dustin Wolf. Other side of things, Joseph Woll, 22 and 12. 2.78 goals against average. 90.5% save percentage. I got to give the edge to Calgary in the goaltending department. Not much, but you got both starters going. You got a Toronto team, in my estimation here, that, well, all of a sudden the light switch is going to flip on. Now the Flames, as I mentioned, 0-1-1. They did get a point in one of those two losses, but again, wild card opportunity for these Flames. It's a tricky, it's a close your nose and punch away. But are you going to lay this big money line with Toronto? They've lost 5 of their last 6. They're 1-4-1 in those games. No, I can't do it. I can't get there. I can't get to the window with it. I get there to the window with Calgary because I think this is risk return, risk reward. Yeah, and I do expect both teams are motivated. But look, Calgary's gone and gotten points in 5 of their last 6 games. They're 2-1-3. They're desperately hanging on. They are on almost life support as it stands, and you're catching a plus 170 price tag. At least they could score. I mean, respectively, they beat Flyers 6-3 in Philly. They lose to Dallas 3-2. That's a big game because that was a big playoff team for the Western Conference in Dallas. They shut out Montreal. They lose to Vancouver. They lose to Colorado. I don't know that it's a step down in class. I just think the goaltending edge is enough. I mean, if you want to look at common opponents, they both played Colorado in their last 4 games. Toronto loses 7-4 at Colorado. Calgary loses 4-2 at home. It's a battle. It should be a playoff battle. I do think we see a lower scoring game. My numbers kind of led me to the Calgary team total over. And it's plus 102, but I thought rather than taking that, let me buy up to this plus 170. This is a juicy bomb spot for the Calgary Flames tonight. And I'll stand by it. I think this is a good opportunity for us to get in the game. Stone likes anytime goal. Man, I had him for an assist the other day, and he ended up scoring a goal on me with that Columbus Blue Jackets team, right? So I think that's not a bad look. I think I'm on that same side. Falling boats. Are you talking about me? Are you talking about me? Was I cocktailed? Was I out of line? Probably. Not the first time. Sancho's in the house. Next Bruins money line, the Flames first period. Timberwolves first half. And the Warriors minus 4.5. Peter Gracia says he leans the over in that Boston game. Okay. Says the Bruins dropped off a cliff this year. Yeah, they did. They became a rebuild fast, didn't they? Out of nowhere. Look for Jonathan Huberdeau. Look for Jonathan Huberdeau on the Calgary Flames to get involved as well. He's having a season. They've been promoting him. I think he was one of the offensive players of the week last week on top of that. Surprisingly, all things considered, at least for the Calgary Flames team itself, he's plus 260 to score a goal tonight. I would take a unit on Kucherov for Tampa Bay to score a goal, and I would take that 3/4 of a unit on Huberdeau. Now, that depends on if you're into the goal-scoring plays or not, but, I think there's some people have a, different way that they approach it when it comes to the player props, where the unit size might be dialed down because you play a few more player props. All bottom line is you want to try to keep it consistent with what the payout can look like, right? So the plus 1,000s, you can't be going full unit on those, but you can. But risk return. Ricky Levine says Calgary has only hit over 2.5 goals 4 of their last 10. That's what kept me off. And I'm seeing a plus 102, Ricky. That's a great point. And it concerns me because if this is a 2-1 game and you're thinking, I'll just take the over 2.5, you just got fucked. Not looking to do that on St. Pat's Day. Looking to cash. Looking to have some cocktails and cash. looking to talk some Major League Baseball tonight. I want to see myself. I'm going to take a shot at this game. It's going to be a shot with a big plus money price tag, and we'll move on to close the card out. In the NHL side of things here, we'll take a little spin. Whoops. I'm going to give these people some feedback. It's a lot easier if the media assets and the comments were closer to each other. The LA Kings, Minnesota Wild, more playoff implications. It's a fun time of year for sports in general, but I'm a passionate hockey guy about this stuff, so I get excited seeing these teams kind of start to come to form from the start of the season to the end of the season. And the Kings are one of those teams. Darcy Kemper, 22-8-7. With solid goaltending, sneaking under the radar goaltending numbers. I'll tell you, the Kings could be a team that they could make an upset in the first round. 2.16 goals against average and a 91.8% save percentage. It's not just starting. That's in contention for Vezina Trophy type numbers. Now, the problem is the Kings aren't good. So you're going to have to go take the crown from Connor Hellebuck if you want to get that earned right. But these numbers are right there, is my point. On the other side of things, Philip Gustafsson will go for the Minnesota Wild. And he's 24-15-4. But he's got a 2.64 goals against average, a 91.3% save percentage. I think the difference here is the defense that the Kings play. They're on a 5-game win streak, and they keep the score down. We talk about the 5.5s. Every time I profile a Kings game at home, 5.5 shows up, and they end up winning the game like 4-2. Kemper. You want to talk about a buy sign for a goaltender. In his last 4 games, spoiler alert, he's 4-0. Why? He's stopping everything. The puck looks like a beach ball to this guy right now. He's got 97 saves on 99 shots in his last 4 games. Phenomenal. And he's got 2 shutouts in there, so he's feeling it. It's a team effort all around with this King spot out there. And the Wild, well, they're not scoring. 2 or fewer goals in 5 straight games. They've lost 2, one of them against St. Louis, which is pitiful. And Gustafsson played like shit. He allowed 4 goals on 26 shots. For me, I had to jump into this thing here. The Kings, start with the Kings. They're outscoring teams in bunches right now. 16-7 on that 5-game win streak. You got a team that's outscoring. You got a team that's goalie seeing it like a beach ball right now. And you got another team that can't score. You got the Kings. But are you going to go lay a minus 150? Regulation even concerns me too, because this could very well be 2-2 rolling into overtime, and the Kings win 3-2 in overtime. I like the under. I like the under considerably. It also caught the attention of sharp, respected bettors. It made the report this afternoon. They're banging away on this under 5.5. And if you look at it, 84% of the bets and 87% of the cash are on the over. It's an 8 p.m. start. It's plus 122. It's juiced to the under. They're begging you to take goals in this game. I don't think we see them. 3-2 final. Maybe it's an overtime situation here. Both teams could benefit from a point. Coin likes the Minnesota team total under 2.5. And Sancho thinks the Doyers are going to smash. That's going to do it for hockey, you guys. I've got the under in the Wild Kings game. I've got the big bomb price for the Calgary Flames. And I like the Tampa Bay puck line. That's around between a minus 105 and a minus 115. I think I got a 115 earlier. It's all right. It's in the realm of I can't want to jump off a bridge because I took too much juice to try to just lay the puck line. So, but it's reasonable enough for me to want to get the win. So that point about the minus 2.5, yeah, okay, but I don't know. It's tricky. Those are going to be the 3 plays in the NHL. We'll move on up. We'll go to this one here. Big conversation about this one. Now, if you guys are new here, don't spend a lot of time. I gave you guys some of the trend reports or some of the cash flow in the NHL, but it matters not as much to me. I'm not afraid to jump in front of a reverse line movement situation. And we talked a little bit about this Rockets and Sixers game. Man, I'll tell you, the Timberwolves lit up the board for me earlier today, but this line's moved to 10 and now 11s. This is that time of year. It's just super hard because you got the separation between the good teams and the average teams. I don't know that there's enough separation between that Timberwolves and Pacers game. It doesn't feel like it should be 10. I could get 6.5. I can't get 6.5 right now. I'm saying I can understand 6.5 is probably the better way for me to phrase that. And then we know that the Pacers team likes to splash the overs, but we got this thing dropping. It's come down 5 points from the opening line of 233.5 to 220. Now there's 226s out there. I think the Pistons beat up the Pelicans. That was a first cut play for me. That one and the Bulls. I think that one also 58% of the bets, 59% of the cash on the Bulls. It's gone from -4.5 to -6s now. So you got correlated line movement. The over starting to catch gas, but the reason I like the Bulls is the Jazz inefficiency at home is probably the best way I would say it. The Raptors and the Suns. I thought about a couple different parlays where I would just take like the Suns money line, but I don't want to get 3 or 4 favorites deep on the NBA. I like the over in that game. It's come down enough from 234.5 to the 225. 9 points, 9.5 points. 9.5 points? No, 8.5 points. Anyways, 88% of the bets, 88% of the cash on the over. Now starting to see some late movement coming in. Grizzlies and Kings. I'll tell you what, I did make a parlay. It's the Kings parlay. It's the LA Kings and it's the Sacramento Kings. Sounded good. Made sense. This line went from dog to favorite for the Kings. I'm invested in the Nuggets. I know it's 10 p.m. start, but if you look at the spread of card that we have, we start early with some hockey. Then we close out the night with some NBA. We got this 10 p.m. pop off here. The Nuggets at Golden State. 67% of the bets and 70% of the cash have come in on the Nuggets. And the line has moved against them. In fact, it's gone 2 full points to 4.5. 239.5 have dropped to 238.5. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this too. In that Kings game, when I talk about every game profiles at home as a 5.5, this is back to the LA Kings. And they end up getting 6s or whatever. On the road, LA Kings are 19, 13, and 3 to the under. That was another little piece I wanted to make sure I tossed in there. But look, ESPN battle, big action. They've won 7 straight in Golden State, 9 of their last 10. This team is running hot. 6th place in the Western Conference. Got to keep the foot on the gas. Now, the Timberwolves, this is maybe part of the reason why that number is the way it is. The Timberwolves have won 8 in a row. So if you're looking for like playoff battle situation, yeah. Minnesota is a big favorite against the Pacers. Golden State is a small favorite against the Nuggets. However, the Nuggets, man, what happened against that Wizards team? Holy cow. You lose 126, 123, you're laying 12 points. And the Nuggets have a little bit of that Boston feel. Win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. They beat OKC, then they lose to that Minnesota team that's been gunning everybody. And they beat the Lakers, and I don't know what happened against the Warriors or against the Wizards. I don't know. Hot team coming in. Hot team at home, and yet this number sitting around 4. That has me a little concerned. Denver's just 1 game ahead of the Lakers, who are also in action tonight. Only 3.5 games ahead of the Warriors and the Timberwolves, who we just talked about are tied. So there's a lot of moving parts for the NBA postseason right now. Aaron Gordon has been listed as questionable. Running down the list for the Warriors, pretty much everybody's probable. Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Buddy Hield. But here's the thing I look for. We got sickness running around that Golden State Warriors locker room. Buddy Hield's probable because of illness. I think Michael Porter Jr. plays. I don't know. Look, Christian Braun's our dude. That guy likes to score. We like to see points. That's what they're going to need if they're going to go out there and try to match Curry and the boys with those 3-pointers. But one of the best bounce back teams in the NBA are the Denver Nuggets. They're 18-6. Off a loss. Should be a good battle. I think it's too many points. In fact, I think we got a live dog in Denver. Road dogs, when they get busted up, when they don't cover the spread by 12 or more points the previous game as a favorite, they've won 12 in a row after that. Road dogs. I think it's 61-23, maybe 61-22. I wrote that down wrong. But I know they've won 12 in a row, and Denver qualifies after that disgusting game. So you got a road dog heavy NBA trend that's won 12 in a row with a team in the Nuggets that bounce back after a loss. You know they want to get that stink taste out of their mouth. They've had a tough run too. OKC, Minnesota, Lakers, and then Washington. I think they were just tired. Take it to the road, go to Golden State, fuck Curry up, take this W, take this outright W here. I think it's a one basket type of game, though. I do. I think the last team to score wins this game, which is going to put it down into that 2 to 3 point range. And in that circumstance, I went to 4.5. If you want to get ballsy, you could probably, the money line for Denver is plus 160. I thought about it long and hard. I looked at it real good. I was like, that's good money here. But if it is that 2 point game at the end, well, then I would take an adjusted line on the Denver side of things to -2. I would only because, again, if it's last bucket, you're going to get that much more return for your investment. At least my assessment on how this game goes down when it comes to that last bucket situation. Stakes are high. Is the better team going to prevail? I don't know. We'll see. I don't even know how I would qualify who the better team is in the spot. But as long as all the horses are running and there's no reason they shouldn't for all the circumstances that we just talked about, I think Denver matches up really well in this game. If you looked on the other side of things, the big drop-off from the point spread, you remember, you guys have seen, we've done the ladder move before. The big drop-off on the point spread is 4.5. Between 4.5 and 5.5, if you look at the adjusted ladder on the Denver Nuggets side, that's where the line starts to widen up. So Denver, -1.5. Look at this. Plus 153 at -1.5, plus 174 at -2.5, 199. So we're moving up 20 cents at a pop. And then you get to 4.5 and it moves 35 cents. And then you get to 5.5 and it moves another 35 cents. So the gap is definitely between 3 and 4.5, suggesting that the books are concerned that Denver can win this game by 3. Just mark it down. Just make a note. Just highlight that little guy for me and make a note that I said I think Denver wins this game by 3 points. Again, good action coming in on Denver, but kind of a reverse line movement. So that does concern me. Nasty Nate likes the Warriors second quarter. Shout out to Dan's in the house as possible Fox spot tonight. Erica's in the house. Erica Taylor says all Spurs games been going over. Oof. I hope you didn't see my card. Barry says Warriors are on a different team since they got Butler. I agree. Green said they have a team. Yeah, and sometimes that's why I'm for the sake of trading to trade. Shake it up. Get things loose. Get them rolling. We'll see. I just think this Denver team's got some question marks right now, and what a great way to silence some of those critics and get yourself ready for this last stretch of basketball by going out there and taking down the Steph Currys. You already got a margin of victory on them over the playoffs. Can't lose it now. And the Spurs and the Lakers will be the last game on the card. 10:30 p.m. Spurs open up at 10.5 points. They've gone to 9.5. 55% of the bets and 66% of the cash are coming in on the Lakers. And we've got reverse line movement by a point. Good money coming in, 16,600 tickets. And it's come down a point. They're making it more attractive to bet the Lakers. The total has gone up from 222.5 to 230s now. 88% of the bets, 88% of the cash are sitting on the over. Let's take a look at this injury report before I comment. Yeah, I mean, the Lakers annoy me. They're just one of those teams that's like, what are they, just trying to save all their cards until, I guess when you got LeBron James constantly playing in the playoffs and going deep, you can't run your A team every single night. The Lakers were getting their butts kicked out. They had a tough road trip. Boston, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Denver. All else. Take the Nets out of there, but the rest of those teams, 15 points to Denver. They did play tight. They lost by 5. Spurs, on the other hand, struggling in their own right. Our immediacy and the bounce back revenge. They played Dallas. They lost. They played them again the next night. They beat them up. Then they lost to Charlotte, a bad Hornets team. and they took care of business against the New Orleans Pelicans before now making their first road trip in their last 4 games. Lakers, on the other hand, as I mentioned, with that long, lengthy road trip coming back home, they had 1 game already. Here we go. The who's playing. Dorian Finney-Smith is probable. I expect he'll play. I think DFS will play. Kleber's out. Luke is questionable already. Gabe Vincent's probable. Rui, it doesn't matter. It could be Luka. It could be, it doesn't matter who's in there. They're always questionable. Rui's out. Well, we'll see. I guess I got to wait for the final report because some of these still have to update. Austin Reeves is probable. He's got the calf. And there's the dreaded illness. Trey Jemison, kind enough to bring a bug into the locker room and share it with everybody. Tough spot, tough game. Ultimately, I hate to see that spot there from our girl Erica here, but yeah, look, the overs have been cooking. There's no question about it. Both teams have been flying on this thing here. The under is 24-17 in the Lakers matchups against Western Conference teams. 24-17. For the home team, back home, this number's moved. It's gotten incredibly wide. It's up to 230 now from an initially pegged spot. Man, I hate to... It's a tricky one. I want to take the Spurs. I want to get involved with that reverse line movement. I do. I just got my dogs in play here. I took the 230. I went the under 230. You move 7.5 points on me at this point, and predominantly the entire universe is on the over. We'll see how it gets as it gets closer to game time here, but I've been trying to count on a guy like Finney-Smith, and it's interesting. He's always got low prop totals, but he either blows it out or he shits the bed. His 10-plus points scored tonight is plus 124. It's a little bit of a concern to me. I jumped on this under. That's the way I'm going to play it. That's the way I'm going to take it to the bank. That's going to be 2 late night NBA spots for you guys. And listen, I'll toss out a bonus play. I'll toss out one bonus play for us early to talk about here for the college madness that is March. I know we talked about him being soft. One of the highest ranked trends. I'll talk more about it as we get to it. I just don't want you guys to miss the number. Clemson. At least a cover game one. Now we'll see if they can get the job done or not. But Clemson, I'll say it again, Clemson laying the log here at 7.5 against McNeese State. I think this game's kind of quietly flying under the radar right now, but I suspect by the time this game rolls out there, it's 3:15 on Thursday, I believe. Let's see, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, Thursday. Don't miss this number. 7.5. I'm already in on it. I don't give out plays like that too early, too often. But I think this number is going to end up being 10.5 by the time game time pops off here. And I'd rather have Clemson need to win by 10 than have Clemson need to win by 12 or 14. So for what it's worth, we'll put that one in the books. I'll post that one too as we get finished with the night here. But 3:15, McNeese State, Clemson. I'm going to lay the 7.5 with Clemson. I think McNeese is just going to get busted up. This is a huge step up in class. You're playing teams like Lamar, Northwestern State, Stephen fucking Austin, Rio Grande Valley. Come on. He's with me on a little Clemson action. There's Jared Bush. Nuggets +8. Is that an adjusted line, Jared? Is that an adjusted line? I took 4.5. I didn't see any 8s. Hopefully it didn't go that way. Jared says Clemson loses to Houston. One last reminder, boys and girls, get in there, check it out. We have a March Madness basketball tournament, free to enter for all members. If you're a member of Sports Money, we want to give you guys some goods. Get in there, check it out. Get out. We got 10 of you already registered. And if we get over 25, I'll add a second prize to the pool as well. Just want to see if you guys want to get involved with it. That's all. You want to get involved? You want to make some money? You want to have some fun? You want to get some prizes? Go out there and check it out. Again, all members can access this tournament. It's free to enter. Not a single dollar. I don't want any of your dollars. Just want to say thank you for supporting our Sports Money crew and wish you guys all the best of luck. There's Nanya. Says the biotech farm job might retire me from capping until football season. Besides the UFC, $30 on overtime hours. Wow. Shit. Put the earpiece in. Listen to us as we roll. It's going to be fun, you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to Jared Bush dropping some plays out there. We got Nunya rocking here with us. Peter Gracia, David Wallace. Thank you guys all, man. Check it out. Coin, appreciate you. Subhuman, get in there. Check out the tournament. Register for the March Madness brackets. And you'll catch me at 8:30. I'm going to be over there with my guy Sharpie and Spin Doc, two of my favorite guys to talk baseball with. And we'll talk some hitting props. We'll talk some sides and some totals to get you guys ready for the opening day tomorrow, 6 a.m. Eastern in Japan. The Cubs, the Dodgers. Till tomorrow, on behalf of the Mornings team, make sure you check out our guy Ramon Scott at 9 a.m. He's running so hot. Thank you guys all. Enjoy your evenings. Happy St. Patty's Day to everybody. Be safe, make smart decisions, and build those bankrolls. Thank you guys all. We'll see you tomorrow.